very soon.
I liked that. I wish that's how the night would have been. This meme is going all over. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota. Camera guy immediately pans to Ilhan Omar. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. This person says, this is not American. No. The type of behavior and attitude, right? It's like so pessimistic and negative, whereas we're the most prosperous nation full of hope and optimism. I mean, they just don't fit in, and that's their own fault. So, you guys know that company, that Rose Lake Capital. So, Tim Nanette is Ilhan Omar's husband, and he had a company called Rose Lake Capital. We couldn't find any clients on them. They didn't seem to have the proper registration, and so that company that they were working with was from a guy that owned Think and Learn. And he hid $533 million by having what they call, it was called Camshaft. And it was registered to an IHOP in Miami by some 23-year-old. And the employees at IHOP had no clue that this business was registered at the IHOP. Okay, so it sounds similar to how Ilhan has these businesses that are registered at random WeWork, co-working places, and some winery where they're not actually operating, right? So just at a random place, he said that they sent them $533 million and basically round-tripped that money back to himself. And so I had a conversation with Brock, and I was like, if these people were proven, Ilhan and Tim Nanette and Will Haler and Alex Hoffman, if they were actually committing fraud, what would that look like? And it was just, it said the same thing that this other guy that they worked with was actually doing. Like that was actually proven. But if they were doing it, they would be using these companies to round trip money back to themselves. You know, launder money, just to make it seem like it came from these companies. So where's the money coming from? Because if it was coming from an honest place, then why would they have to have these shell companies? So I found out about another company that they had, and E Street Crew had one of their managers that company. So that company was called Freedom Capital LLC. So having their companies registered in New Mexico makes it so that they don't have to disclose basically who owns it or the percentage of ownership. So it gives them greater privacy, right? Why would they need that? And they put all these companies in certain states because they have laws that are going to protect them. So I was listed as one of the managers of the winery, and like their website, they never actually did anything. I mean, they had actually filled out a Form 80B, so they had some of the registration for this company, and they stated that they managed less than $100 million in assets. But again, still crazy that they had another company that's claiming to manage a bunch of money, yet it seems like they're only honest is themselves again. So, I mean, it's just pretty relative to how also Ilhan Omar made herself, $3 million to another company, like, I forget what it was even called, Rose Lake. I mean, they put so many, random names or do variations, and the campaign money that she raised, she gave it back to herself because she said that company was consulting her. And then they literally took out $1 million of that. I mean, it went straight back to her. So I don't understand how these kinds of things are allowed. And this is a guy who I believe he invested in, did he invest in the winery? I mean, it's just crazy. It always goes back to these politicians. Dan Kanine has spent 20 years in influential positions at all levels of government and politics, playing key roles in policy-making campaigns and political management. So how come people who are involved in policy-making, the literal rules that everybody has to abide by, are being made by people who create these businesses that get money mysteriously? It almost doesn't sound like they're working for us, right? It almost makes me think that that's the reason why Ilhan is so suspicious about her winery. It's not a winery. You shouldn't be talking about winery. Wine. All this woman does is wine. You should be talking about the fraud, because that's what it is. She knows that. So Democratic Republic Andy Craig said this next to Ilhan Omar.
And I'll just end with this. I would rather stick forks in my eyes than be here tonight to listen to Donald Trump talk about the State of the Union. But this is the people's house, and I will not abandon the people's house.
She'd rather stick forks in her eyes. Are you kidding me? And I don't understand how people can dislike Donald Trump.
Put the
If
pilot
you
on.
listen to the things that he says, his
Send
message is
my
one
location
of great
now.
hope.
I've got a stack
And
of cash
when
here with
there's
your name on
hope
it.
in the present, there's power in the future. It's a productive speech that he just
Shit!
Rex
I'm
Brandon
picking
Gill
up
and Ilhan
incoming
Omar
aircraft.
gives him
Don't
3 looks on
panic.
the
Do
floor
not
because of
panic.
his bill to halt Somali migration heat, and he says that it's worse.
And then I was giving a speech on the House floor about this bill in particular. She was in the audience and she was screaming.
No.
I could barely hear what she was saying, but she was screaming, calling me names. And all
Oh,
that
you
stuff.
hit? Did they get you?
Repeated
Oh, no.
repetitive ghetto behavior should be enough for her not to be in Congress. Why are some people in Congress, like Jasmine Crockett, AOC, and Ilhan Omar, so ghetto and proud? It's like they're supposed to be representing us? Why? We don't act like that. We don't pretend like we're, oh, he should be changed. Like, dude, she's crazy. So, do you guys remember this? Ilhan Omar went to visit some illegals who ICE was holding, but they were deported before she got there. I mean, she's just kind of not all there.
I'm going to give notice, and I just want to make sure you cannot be any cleaner. No, we gave notice 8 days ago. We got confirmation yesterday that we were going to be allowed in. And the last detainee was taken out at 11:30 a.m., 30 minutes before we were set to arrive.
What about the children who were released in t-shirts on Wednesday?
And we also did ask, how many people came through today, which is why it felt convenient that no one was there. They said that 10 was when we first got there, and 10 were gone, and then they said there were another 5, and so I circled back.
If they were not there when you got there, you have to take the next step and go chase him down now. Like other Democrats did. Remember that one Democrat who was chasing down Kilmore Abrego, and he literally went to El Salvador? Come on, Ilhan, go abroad. Maybe then they won't let her back in. That'd be like the easiest process of denationalization, it wouldn't hurt so bad.
And I said, can we go and see the 5 that are here because we have time to release for you? And they said, no, we cannot permit you to go into the cell to see the detainees. And I said, well, we don't need to go into the cell. We can, fill the forms.
Yeah, I doubt you would want to go into the cell. I mean, we saw the situation unfolding in Mexico, how the cartels are running the country, and they tried to do that here. You don't know how many of the members of the cartel or people implicated have entered into our country. It actually sounds like the new leader of the vaccinated CJNG might be an American-born person. Okay, so the connections between the cartels and the United States are not good, and it's good that we are deporting any person who came here without citizenship because there's no documentation, so there's no way to know. If they're good people, then wonderful. They can come back in the legal way, and then they don't have to be associated with them. But would Ilhan Omar actually want to be in the same cell as somebody who might have a very horrible criminal record? He got there and he was good. Like, it's like so mean.
It's like, take them in, and then we can look through the glass and see what their conditions look like. And then they pull them out for a little bit, and then conveniently, as they were taking us towards the cell, someone said, there's not a single person left. And they took us in.
It's so weird to go there and want to visit them anyways, like they're in a zoo. Like, Ilhan, you're so weird. She's almost as weird as these Somalis in Minneapolis, who, get this, guys, they cannot stop flying. These people fly in their sleep. They dream about committing fraud. Catholic demanded $200 million in reparations for business closures and community trauma. I can't. Okay, honestly, she is the perfect representation of that community. They say that stereotypes are earned, they're not given. If Ilhan Omar is so sad that Somali people get this reputation for committing fraud in welfare and in all these scam businesses similar to her scam business, then how come she didn't decide to do something different? How come she didn't prove to the Somali community that they can assimilate, that they can do better, that they can create real businesses, real values, but instead she just became a stereotype.
They'll be
Right.
coming for you.
Ilhan Omar's
Delete
whining.
your
Oh, guys, we finally found the
Change your
line.
name. Go off the grid.
Ilhan Omar's
I
whining.
did.
Since the DOJ
Hey, look
is
at me.
using Operation
Never been
Paris,
healthier.
post-admission
Speaking of,
refugee
by this
re-verification and
time
integrity
tomorrow,
strengthening
I'll
to
be
scrutinize
deep-sea
refugees.
fishing
This
far
training will
away
make sure
from
refugees
here.
aren't scammers.
Let me tell you, if you want to avoid people,
Great.